I'm the manager of the football club, and anything that happens at the club in respect of our performances on the pitch, you know, the players' decisions that's made in respect of tactics and player positioning is all you know is all on me. You know, I take responsibility for my team. You know, so whether it's results, whether it's tactics, wherever it's, like I say, player positioning, and I think that's important, because sometimes when I do press calls, or I do things after games, you know, I don't ever want it to sound like I'm blaming my players. You know, my players and I and my staff, we're all one. So I think that's really important that everyone understands that. I'll always take full responsibility for my teams wherever I'm at, and that was really important for me to make sure I mentioned that. Secondly, you know, when we talk about player positionings on the pitch, you know, we play players in positions that we feel can do the job. So, for instance, I'm playing a 4-2-3-1. I'm playing Ruben Colwell left side of a 3, and people turn around and potentially say he's playing out of position. He's not playing out of position. He's playing the 10. So he's creating a box. He'll drop in and create a box with Alex Robertson, and we've got Chambo and Rambo behind it in the last game we played against, and gives Callum O'Dowd the licence on the left wing. So you've got to understand the game, and you've got to understand it tactically. You've got to understand strategical things in the game in respect of player positioning. Also, with Callum Chambers this year, has moved into midfield. You know, I think we've been very successful with Callum Chambers. You know, he's moved up there, and he's been probably one of our best midfielders this year. So it's a player out of position who's been excellent. Andy Rinamotor, was a player who was a nomad, if you like, wasn't getting many minutes, and, you know, was very disgruntled with not playing. But he's done excellent this year. He's played right back. He's played centre midfield. He's played up and down the wing, and he's done very well. So, you know, sometimes there's always positives with negatives. Sometimes players play in a position they don't do well, you know, but it can happen, you know. Also with squad rotation, you know, sometimes squad rotation is something that you have to do because you haven't got the players to play that you played the previous game. You know, boys get injured, boys pick up injuries on the bench before a warm-up. And these things are all important that we all understand this, so that, you know, we're all working towards the same goal. That's the press, that's me, that's my staff, that's the players, that's the club, in respect of where we're trying to get to. And where we want to get to is get this club back to where it's been before, and even higher if we can. So that was important. It's important. I sort of said that. The other thing with recruitment, you know, I think we've spoken about recruitment before. Everyone at this club has played a part in recruitment. You know, whether it's Yusuf Saleh, whether it's Will Alves in January, whether it's Sivert in January. The work that goes into bringing these players into the club is not solely on one person. It's not solely on me. It's not solely on Paddy at the recruitment. Paddy and the boys done an excellent job when it comes to selecting a group of players that can potentially come into the club. And then above that, the board have to say, yes, these players can come into the club. And then the owner of the club has to put his hand in his pocket, which he's done on many occasions, to bring these players into the club. You know, and then with myself, yeah, I might know a manager, or I might know a player from the past, or I might know, and that's our jobs. My job is not to acclaim that I've brought in players, or Paddy's brought in players, or the club's, but it's about all of us. It's about us together. You know, I think one of our slogans is City as one. You know, and that's what we need to be. You know, so yeah, with that, you know, doing medical examinations on players, like at the dusk of dawn, or you know, or early mornings, going out to make sure these players are fit and ready to come in. So, you know, it's important that we don't start to, you know, if there's blame or anything like that, it's about what we're doing together. I think that was really, really important for me, because sometimes when things aren't going well, you can start nitpicking at who's done what and why this and that hasn't happened and why that hasn't happened. But for me, like I said, I'm the manager. And if there's any blame on anything, it will be based. It's on me, on the decisions I make, which is fair, you know. And I take that. You know, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, like everyone makes mistakes, and that's part and parcel of this job. Yeah, Joe Rawls is training well, trained today fully. Dave Turnbull's been training now a few days and looking good. Been happy with him. Ollie Tanner's on the grass now, training as well. So, but not with us yet. So yeah, getting people back slowly. But Joe, he's been here a long time now. He's part of the fabric of the club. He's got a great attitude and character. He's been injured. He's back now. You know, he's captain of the club. And it's nice to have him back because he's got a calmness to him, but at the same time he's got a streak to him as well. You know, he don't let standards drop. You know, sometimes it's important when you've got players on the grass, they maintain standards, and he's one of those players that does that. So it's key, and I'm very happy to have him back in the squad and involved.